corruption cases rise, says Khaya Moyo. The country is overwhelmed by reported cases of corruption, some of which are before the courts, at a time the new administration is determined to end the vice and rebuild the country, a cabinet minister has said. In a speech read on his behalf by the chief internal auditor in the Ministry of Energy and Power Development, Mrs. Patricia Sikipu, at the anti-corruption conference which started in Victoria Falls yesterday, Energy and Power Development Minister Ambassador Simon Khaya Moyo said everyone should support President Mnangagwa's fight against corruption. He challenged every citizen who may have evidence against any suspected cases of corruption to come forward. The tone from the executive has changed and high-profile cases are being referred to the courts since the new government took charge, said Minister Khaya Moyo. The courts are now more seized with hearing various corruption cases, and this number has never been reached before. Minister Khaya Moyo said government was committed to establishing specialized anti-corruption courts to swiftly deal with cases of graft. A number of public officers have been suspended, he said. It is yet to be seen how the current cases before the courts will be finalized, but for swift prosecution to take place as pronounced by President Mnangagwa, efforts on the same by the legislature and judiciary need to be complemented by the public. Minister Khaya Moyo said it was every Zimbabwean's duty to ensure a corruption-free environment and challenged leaders to be exemplary and accountable. The fight begins with you dealing with corruption by preventing, detecting and reporting it and providing evidence in courts, he said. At the moment, that is where we require significant improvement, as perpetrators are now being arraigned before the courts and convictions have been rare and current ones are still to be heard. Minister Khaya Moyo said some cases of corruption were dismissed by courts because of lack of incriminating evidence, yet corruption would have taken place. So, let's work together to fight corruption for a better Zimbabwe and for equitable and fair distribution of resources, he said. Let's build a culture of zero tolerance to corruption. Minister Khaya Moyo said government was in the process of implementing measures to promote the ease of doing business. The conference is being attended by officials from local authorities and the private sector and ends tomorrow under the theme, Fighting Corruption for Economic Recovery and Good Corporate Governance for New Governance.